Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Dan from the Rebellious Noise Pro Wrestling channel, and I am back with another edition of Lay The SmackDan. And today I am going to be laying the SmackDan all about Friday Night SmackDown. That's right, guys. This was the culmination, seemingly, of Daniel Bryan's SmackDown career. Are we heading for a fatal four-way for the Intercontinental Championship? And there's also going to be some big news about next week's special edition of SmackDown. So, this week's episode of SmackDown was largely dominated, and rightfully so, by the huge main event. Now, speaking of that, throughout the night, we obviously saw numerous superstars giving their thoughts on who they think was going to win. So we obviously, we had Seth Rollins, who said that he thought Daniel Bryan was going to win. And then he challenged Cesaro for a match next week. On the subject of Seth Rollins, if you haven't already, check out Scott's Trying Seth Suits video, which is on the channel. Basically, the suits that Seth Rollins has been wearing on SmackDown have caused quite a stir, really. And so Scott has gone online, tried to source out where these suits come from. He's actually bought them and tried them on and just showing you guys like what they look like and how they are, basically. So yeah, go back and check those out. Booker T has said that Roman Reigns was going to win. Nakamura said Daniel Bryan. The Miz said Roman Reigns. Cesaro also said Daniel Bryan and also accepted Seth Rollins' challenge for next week. And the last one, we had Baron Corbin, and he said he really doesn't care. But that it's a good thing if Roman does win, because then it means that Bryan will pack his bags and go home for good. But yeah, earlier in the night, we saw Daniel Bryan had spoken to Kayla Braxton, and he basically said that he was going to win the match, and then he's going to offer Cesaro the first title shot at WrestleMania Backlash. Spoiler for the main event, Bryan doesn't win, so we don't know what's going to happen with the Universal title at Backlash. Cheers, guys. So, on this show, this had a really, really huge feel to this SmackDown. Every single champion from the SmackDown brand was in action. So we saw the tag team champions, the Dirty Dogs, in action. They teamed with Bayley to take on the women's champion, Bianca Belair, and the Street Profits. We saw the women's tag team champions in action with Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler taking on the team of Natalya and Tamina. And quite interestingly, both sets of tag team champions actually lost on this night. I suppose in the six-person tag match, there was always going to be a champion losing, whether that be Bianca or whether that be the Dirty Dogs. But in the end, as I say, it was the Street Profits and Bianca that won that match. It was actually a very good match. Finish came with Bianca Belair whipping Bobby Roode with her hair, much like she did to Sasha Banks at WrestleMania. And Angelo Dawkins hitting his pop-up spine buster, and then amazing frog splash from Montez Ford to get the 1, 2, 3 in that match. Yeah, they're moving on just briefly to the women's tag team championships. It was obviously Natalya and Tamina won this. Now, they hold a victory over the women's tag team champions. Why could they not have just done that at WrestleMania? Because it doesn't, if my memory serves me correctly, I don't think that Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler have actually won a tag match since WrestleMania. So that's a little bit it's a little bit strange as to like why they'd have them retain at Mania, but then obviously not win since Mania. I mean, go figure. I mean, let us know what you guys think of that, really. Yeah, so then we had obviously the Intercontinental Championship on the line. This was announced last week that Big E would take on Apollo Crews. Now, Big E looked to have this match won. He hit the big ending on Apollo in the middle of the ring until Commander Aziz pulled E out of the ring, thus causing a disqualification, breaking up the pinfall. We then saw Kevin Owens come running down to help out Big E. Then essentially Owens seemed like he was teaming with Big E, taking on Aziz and Apollo. They just went back and forth for a little bit. And then all of a sudden, Owens is in the corner, and you just see out of nowhere, boom, haluva kick straight in his face from Sami Zayn. Are we leading to a fatal four-way then? Because at the end of this segment, Sami got the Intercontinental Championship, and he was staring at it for a long, long time. Staring at it for a while, and then handed it back essentially to Apollo, and then he got hit with the Nigerian nail, and that was the final part of that segment, really. So going back to the women's tag team championship scene for a second, we do have a comment. They have no clue what to do with a women's tag team division, as we keep saying. It's a real shame. It is a real shame. It just seems as though they just want to screw over the tag team division at all costs. The men's tag team division, the women's tag team division. We've spoken about the Iconics being released. How probably the only real tag team, apart from the Riot Squad, that you release. Me and Scott had the opportunity to sit down and talk to the Iconics when they were women's tag team champions. They are such lovely, genuine people, and their friendship means that they are such a good team. They've got such good chemistry with each other, but they've released them. And it's like, the women's tag division could have been brilliant. I actually saw a tweet from Mick Foley saying that WWE should really do they should do an all-women's show, which I think would be fantastic. Do you know why I think they don't want to do it? I think it's Vince is scared that that's going to outdraw the likes of Raw, NXT, and SmackDown. That more people would tune in to watch the women, a division that they have essentially pooped all over for years. The women's division and the tag division. And so that's why I don't think they're going to want to do that. And that's my honest opinion. That's my opinion as to why I think they won't do that. I'd like to see it because, it would definitely be a great platform for them. You've got obviously the Raw and SmackDown women's championships. What you do, you make one of them the main championship, one of them a secondary title. You got a set of tag titles. Example, in make 205 Live the women's championship. It's now exactly the Cruiserweight Championship being over on NXT. There's no point in having a specific show for that when all the Cruiserweight title and the Cruiserweight title scene essentially is over on NXT. Going back as well, they hate all tag teams. They do indeed. It's plain and simple that they hate tag teams. So going back quickly to the Intercontinental Championship question, fatal four-way ladder match with those four would be fab. Yeah, it would indeed. I think any kind of multi-man match with them. I mean, we kind of pitched it on the channel for like WrestleMania, maybe that there could have been some kind of six-way for either this or the US title. I mean, you think you've got the four that's there, and then even if you throw in like Seth and Cesaro into the mix. That'd be a great like six-man match. But obviously, I suppose they're going to try and keep ladder matches to a minimum at the moment with Money in the Bank just around the corner, probably in like a month or so. Let's just get in now to the main event, really. So first things first, Roman Reigns debuting new entrance music. Now, I absolutely love this new entrance music. It fits his character so well. It basically reminds me like when you're playing a video game and you get to like the final boss level, and it always has that like that music where you're like, oh, something's gonna happen. And that was essentially how I felt this new music for Roman Reigns was. It just fits his character so well. It just fits, and just spare a thought for the Shield music, which lasted, I think, from 2011 or 2012. So it's had a very good run, but I think it has kind of, it's like, even the great Stone Cold Steve Austin themes, like the glass shattering and da-da-da-da-da, even that was like changed up from time to time. The Rock's music changed up from time to time with his character. I think this, for Roman Reigns' character, is just that final nail, basically, to say, this is who I am now. I am not Roman Reigns from the Shield anymore. I am the tribal chief, the head of the table, and still the Universal Champion, the reigning, defending Universal Champion. And, you know, this match went around half an hour. It did not feel that long at all. I mean, we've mentioned on the channel about matches at WrestleMania, you know, the main events go in 20, 25 minutes. When you think, you know, obviously this being on BT Sport, there's the adverts, and, you know, in America, it's on Fox, you know, there's going to be adverts, obviously, throughout this. So it probably wasn't actually that long in ring, but I do feel as though, you know, it was a match with those big stakes. So, you know, I think a decent 20-minute match was probably about right for this. Bryan looked like he had the match won, had the yes lock locked in, but ultimately it was Roman locking in the guillotine and forcing Bryan not to tap, but to pass out, and then banishing him from SmackDown. Now, what is going to happen now? Obviously, this is... we saw, obviously, Roman Reigns not being done there. He brought 2 chairs in the ring, hit Bryan with a concerto. Cesaro obviously had come out to help him, but he was hooked up in the ropes, held by Jey Uso. And it just begs a question now, what is next for Daniel Bryan? Because, you know, is he going to go Raw? Is he going to go NXT? Who knows? Next week on SmackDown as well, we understand it's called a SmackDown Throwback Edition. So obviously we've seen previously when they do like the what are the old shows called? Raw Old School. That's it. That's the one. So they do like Raw Old School, but this is going to be a SmackDown Throwback Edition. The only match so far confirmed is Cesaro versus Seth Rollins. Please, please, please bring the SmackDown fist back. That's what we all want. But yeah, I'm just going to quickly go through, check any of your comments and answer these. So we've got here. I partially agree. I feel they treat the women overall well. Main event of WrestleMania, but tags and lower cards feuds they hate. Yeah, I mean, it does seem like they can only run kind of one women's feud at a time, whereas they can easily run 5 men's feuds concurrently. But the women's, it's like 1, 2 at a push. It's like, I think the fact that they've got them on different brands and they've got different women's titles, they kind of feel like they have to. But then even with the women's tag titles, they seem like they have to still throw the Raw or SmackDown women's champion into that feud sometimes. And, you know, it's like, you're not doing that all the time with the male champions. Why do you insist on doing that with your women's champions? But yeah. Oh my God, just listen to the new theme. Is amazing. Yeah, it definitely is. I mean, if you've not already checked it out, guys, go back and listen to the new Roman Reigns theme song. It does. I mean, you could probably listen to it and it doesn't really do it that much justice. But when you actually watch the entrance on SmackDown Live, the actual pacing of the song to him walking down the ring just fits so perfectly. I love the themed episodes and doubt it'll look any different, sadly. Yeah, I think, yes, it is awkward, really, isn't it? Because they obviously they can't do too much, I guess, with the Thunderdome, the setup, etc. But we can only hope. I mean, they did use it at WrestleMania 36, the SmackDown Fist, actually, when they did like the little throwback thing with John Cena and Bray Wyatt. They brought the fist out. I think it's just onto the stage more than an actual like Titantron thing. There you go. The entrance is on WWE YouTube. Thanks a lot for that. So yeah, if you want to check it out, it's probably over on YouTube. So go and check it out there. But yeah, anyway, that is everything for today, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. Don't forget to check out what I have to say about Raw on Tuesday. They'll be live at 5 p.m. BST. You can follow all of us over on Twitter at RM Pro Wrestling. You can follow me at Dan_RebNoise. If you haven't already, make sure that you're liking, sharing, and subscribing this page. And also, don't forget to tap the bell for notifications. So anytime we post a new video, you will be notified of that. Don't forget, share us with your friends. Tell everyone you know about our channel. That's the only way we are going to get those numbers up, guys. So thank you so much for joining us. Take care, and I will see you guys very, very soon. See you later.